All right. All right, here we go. Tent Island time. Tent Island time. I've already emptied everybody out. I'm just going to tank the battle here with this guy because I really don't have a good way to handle the abductor guy. So I'm going to be out that ether, but at least Galef will have a good way to deal with the Gilgamesh fight. But there is not a whole lot I could do with the abductor. I could hope for some good luck, but there's not a good way for the thief to really amplify their damage right now at this point. And I would really like to have the Guardian Dagger and the Elf Cape available for Galef, so that he can dodge some of Gilgamesh's attacks. It should be an easy battle with Gilgamesh. Should be fine there. But anything that's in our hands is going to be lost. Even though Galef picks up everybody's stuff out of the chest, he can't use it. I don't know what the rare steel is for this guy, but there we go. Battle over. Battle over. Let me actually go look that up, what the abductor's rare steel is. I'm just curious. Bart solo battle with the abductor. Oh, the rare steel is Gaia gear. That's interesting. It drops an ether. It doesn't have a common steel, and its rare steel is a Gaia gear. That's fun. Here's the X-Death music. This is the projection of X-Death, of the prisoners to Galef and Kryl, or Kara. I like Kara. Kara's a little English name-y, though, for what I think this game probably was shooting for. I'll be streaming a good chunk of World 2 today. I do plan on doing a big chunk of grinding just before the Crystal Guardians, the Seal Guardians battle. I do plan on grinding up a good chunk of levels there, just because this party is going to need levels. We're just going to need levels. Even it's a good classic party, but there's a couple of battles, particularly the last battle with Neo X-Death, where we're just going to need some levels, unfortunately. So we are going to have to do some grinding. So I don't know how far I'll actually go with this stream today, but if we get to the forest, I'll cut the stream there because I've got a good chunk of grinding to do. So here comes the Galef battle. Galef has to stay a black mage as per classic rules. Galef must remain in his job. And this is before the shield goes up on X-Death's castle. The shield will go up after we finish the big bridge, and it launches us to the next area. Okay, so here's where he picks up everybody's items. I am just going to put the... Let's just see if that's what we get for him. Yep, there we go. And that's really the best setup for him right now. He's in the back row. There's not a thief in the party, so he cannot auto-dash, or B-dash, I guess you should say, so it's going to be kind of a slow slog here. But I have good ways to deal with Atmos. The X-Death battle at the end of World 2 here is also going to be kind of tricky. That's going to just require me to have some hit points. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. And unfortunately, the plan that I have for the Seal Guardians involves using the Flame Shield. So I may have to skip the Aegis Shield, at least you can get in this part of the game, and get another Aegis Shield later. That is, if I feel like getting the Aegis Shield. It might not really be absolutely imperative to finish the end of this game. The Jail Bears. I do like the Jail Bears. I think they're called Shell Bears in another translation, but I like Jail Bear a lot. Here is Gilgamesh. Now I just gotta hope for some good luck here. I'm gonna leave the Guardian Dagger on him, and I'm just going to spam Bolt 2 and hope that I can kind of win a damage race. Maybe use a high potion or two. I should have roughly 50% evasion here, although it doesn't quite work out that way. I have a 25% evasion check, and also I believe it's a third evasion check. Maybe it's another 25% evasion check for the two different weapons. So I've got the Elf Cape and the Guardian Dagger both have evasion checks to make, and so far I have evaded 3 attacks, all 3 attacks that he has attempted. Oh, there's 4. So 4 for 4. 4 for 4 on the Gilgamesh attacks with the Guardian Dagger and the Elf Cape. And there's Gilgamesh. So actually a perfect Gilgamesh fight. A no damage Gilgamesh fight. That's actually pretty rare. Even with the double evasion item, that's pretty rare. I like it. I'm actually just popping up the Guardian Dagger. 6.3.4. I'm just got the algorithms guide up. 6.3.4. Okay, yeah, so looks like Weapon Block or Elf Cape. Looks like they are both... Guardian Dagger is 25. Elf Cape is 33. Yep, Elf Cape is 33, Guardian is 25. That's how that works. Cool, alright. Nope, I'm gonna have to get that out of there. Okay. Alright, very good, very good. And stealth, okay, that'll work for now. That'll work for now. I do have Mage Mashers that I plan to use for the Gilgamesh battle on the bridge. And with my Thunder Rods, the other battles there should not be very difficult. The robot battles that I'll fight, that is if I execute the big bridge correctly. But I'm going to have to start, after these battles, I'm going to have to start fighting more random battles. Simply because I just do not have... Okay, it looks like I'm going to get a little bit more MP for my Black Mage. Because I just need some levels, I just need some more experience, and so fighting a few random battles here and there will help eat up some of the experience that I need. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, these battles out here are not great, but later on, the Dilure battles are a good one for some gold and some experience, especially after I pick up the Break spell, but that's going to be after my Gilgamesh battle here. What weapon are we looking at? We are looking at Thunder Rods here for now. There we go. And yes, I am short on armor. I did kind of sell all of my armor. Most armor, especially... armor is kind of a bad thing to spend your money on, in my opinion. Of course, it has its benefits, but it's not an awesome thing to spend your money on. For my taste. For my taste. Okay, nothing to steal. Do you have the Coral Sword? Ancient Sword. I'll take that. That's fine. Coral Sword would do a lot more damage, but yeah, Ancient Sword will probably still take them out. And I don't know if 2 all-targeting Bolt 2s, or maybe even with 1, yeah, 1 Bolt 2 all-targeting will get it. So that will make any I didn't go left soon enough. I should have gone to the left there. That's okay. Still another 1-hit kill there. I needed to go to the left and then to the right, but I didn't go to the left quickly enough. All right, these should do it. Okay, yeah, even those. Okay. Now to the right. And I didn't do it quickly enough, so that's why I ran into that extra battle. All right, let me get some healing done here. All right, and I think I'm going to just go into this at the beginning. I'm going to try to get an aging on him. I'm trying to make him old. And then after that, I'm going to try to proc some mutes so that I can miss his second routine. Oh, he doesn't quite have the Genji stuff yet. That's right. He will have that later. All right, there's the old proc. That's actually really, really nice. And then maybe after this, I will just put on some Mage Mashers and just start going to town with Mage Mashers with all 4 characters to try to keep mute on him. My numbers are not going to be perfect, but I'll just roll with it. He's going to lose a lot of his damage, especially his magic damage. Unfortunately, physical damage doesn't go down quite as much. And maybe if I hit on a Mage Masher with one of my physical characters, then I'll go to magic and use that, because you want him to cross the threshold while he's in mute status. You want him to cross that line while he's in mute status. Like right now, except this is a bad time because my black mages are all gone. They're all used up. And that's going to do a pretty good chunk of damage there. Even with the old status, it doesn't quite get there. And a straight up miss. And I probably went too early to this part because this is going to be, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be ugly. He is nasty, and my levels are fairly low for where they probably should be right now. So this is probably going to be a game over here. Yeah. All right. Let me look up his numbers again, because I think I switched too early to the Mage Masher. Let him go ahead and take us out. Okay, Gilgamesh Bridge, 6,500, and is... Okay, 2,500. So I actually need to do... Wow, 4,000. I need to do 4,000. Has been a while since I've looked at that. It's 4,000 damage before we are ready to jump out. So I have a few rounds of rods that I can break on him. 4,000 it needs to be. All right, good to note. I'm gonna have to fight the first battle again. This one you cannot avoid. And these guys have nothing. We're fine. And let me make sure that I equipped the Thunder Rod on these guys. No, I did not. They had Mage Mashers on. So that save was before I had adjusted the equipment. That's fine. I'll adjust Galefs after this battle. No problems. We can enjoy this music a little bit. This is, of course, almost everybody's favorite music in this game. There we go. Alright. Left. Let me put the Thunder Rod onto Galef. right, left, and in. Okay, let me double check my numbers. It looks like I'm doing okay. She still has the Thunder Rod, Thunder, Elf Cape, and Guardian, Ancient Sword. Okay, two-handed. All right. I think everything's set up the way that I need it to be set up. I need to look for about 4,000 damage, though, when he changes, so I'm going to be counting out loud for 4,000. Okay, and that's going to be almost nothing. Okay, so there's 500. There's about 1,100. There's about 1,600. 1,700. 17 and let's call it 6 is going to be 23. And this is all, you know, estimated. Okay, so about 28. So maybe we'll do one more bolt and then we'll switch over to Mage Mashers. Okay, good. So the timing's not too bad. I didn't overdo it, but I do need to make sure I don't do too much damage because you can push him over the edge and then get yourself in trouble by not having the silence proc. So let's get the silence proc and push him over in the same one, and then we can switch back to damage. I want to do that as quickly as possible. So I hope that this fires the silence. It did not, because I would have liked to have had that fire the silence and then have Galef go back to Bolt 2. Okay, and now this is unfortunate because the timing is going to be tricky. I'm going to go for it, though. I'm going to see, because I don't think he has the super fast wear-off on this. I may be totally wrong, and then we will find out. But we'll find out here in a second if I mess this up. I was wrong. Haste. Okay, so it did wear off really fast on him. So that's too bad because the haste is going to be the killer. So this is going to be another loss. Haste is going to do it for us. That's going to be just about all she wrote. I will try to break a rod here and see. I don't think that's going to be the difference, but we will try it. Just for time. I don't know if that's going to do the kind of damage we need. Yeah. The shell status is going to be just too much, and he's going to be jumping a little bit too often for us. So I need to have another... I need to have a mage or my knight with an action queued up much more quickly. Again, this is my first run of... Well, first Gilgamesh mute requirement, really, of this year. Popping up for me. And I didn't get the old proc in the first couple of attacks, I don't think, with Ferris. So I couldn't get that in. And I don't want to burn too many rods, but I will try. I'll give this battle the old college try. But it'll take 5 rods to bring him down just with that damage. And with Protect on him, that's going to make it even worse. He still has a Mage Masher. It doesn't really matter. This battle's lost. Alright, so I do need to have, it looks like, attacks queued up. Okay, so there's 2 Gilgamesh knockouts. I'm still getting my sea legs again, so to speak. Alright. Let's do it again. Oh, that way. All right. Bolt 2. Okay. Well, those guys must be really weak, because even less than 600 did it to him. Okay, and you got to be careful with where you go, and there is a very exact route you can take where you can avoid everything altogether. I think we're all okay in our numbers. Again, and equipped with what we want. Okay, again, looking for 4,000 as our threshold. 4,000. Even if you nail it, it's still kind of tight. Even if you nail it, it's still tight. All right, there's 1. Let's say 6. I know I'm rounding down. Let's say about 12. Let's call that 12 to get rid of some of our rounding. So 12 so far. Okay, 16. Good dodge. Good dodge. 16. Let's go 18. Okay, 18 and 5, 23. Okay, 28. I think that was a low 23. Okay, 28, 30, 30. Okay, I think I've got enough for another knight and thief attack. Let me see if I can squeeze in. I think I might be able to get close enough. I'm always going to be guesstimating right there, so. All right, there he's muted. All right, and I have 2 black mages with turns coming up, so actually this should about do it. Because he should be muted through the... Okay, there we go. I was like, in case I needed a little more damage, I had another black mage there to back up. Jump attack is still going to do a ton of damage. You can see it actually didn't show the damage it did. That's interesting. Jump does that sometimes when he does that, when it doesn't actually show you how much damage it did. And electric shock, that's weak. I'd like him to do that every single time. I'd love for him to just do nothing but electric shocks. And you got the Mage Masher on the first try, Ferris. Very nice job. There's 500 there. Because I need about... It's 2,500 left, so I need about 5 attacks, either with Ferris or with the Black Mages. And so far, I'm getting okay luck on his routine. He can use that jump attack, which takes about 400 something. He can use that a lot more often than he has been choosing to. There's jump. Jump's actually a magic attack. It's interesting. It's actually a magical ability. So it goes off his magic stat, has magic multipliers and everything like that. So there we go. There's his... there's Gilgamesh down. Alright, now I'm going to save a Phoenix down. I'm just going to leave her dead. We are going to fight one battle here. And that's because I just kind of like to... I don't know why. I've never bothered to learn the route on this this back half of the bridge. So I kind of just go for this route that I find okay. The Neo Galera there will absorb my lightning elemental stuff. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do physical attacks on the Neo Galera back there for now. Now, this doesn't matter. I could switch to the full moon, but whatever. We're fine. Alright, that should do it. And then that should be the only battle we fight on the back half of the bridge here. I've just never bothered to learn the route that gets you through without any battles. But if you just go right up Main Street there, you can avoid all of them except just that one. So that's why I just go right at Main Street. Because whenever I try to get funky with it, then it usually turns bad on me, and I end up fighting a bunch of battles that I don't want. So I'll take the battle with the Neo Galera. Fine with me. All right, so now we are in the... I can't remember the name of the town now. It goes by a kind of a funky translation, but we are in that area. The area with the Dilures. And this is where we're going to be fighting a few more enemies, and I hope I have enough money, but I might be fighting a few of these guys just to grind up a little bit of money to buy my black magic spells. This is where I can pick up Break. Most notably, the Break spell. I can't even remember what other level 5 black magic we pick up here. Alright, I'll throw a tent down just to get Lena back up off her feet. On her feet. Off her back, I guess. She's dead. And a lot of these battles I don't love, but I might be fighting them anyway just to kind of power through. Pick up a little bit more experience, so you'll see me fight a few more of these than I normally would. And the Moogle Cave will be the same deal. I'll be fighting a lot more stuff than you would normally see me fight. Just to get a little bit more experience. And once I pick up the Break spell, that's what I'll be using on some of the guys out here in the forest. Those Luneta guys. The fairy orcs I'll probably still run from because those guys just get kind of annoying. But I'll get into the woods here so I can get some of these, yeah, these 5 Dilure battles. And these guys can actually be surprisingly hard hitting. These guys can be really nasty. So I'm going to try to take them out as quickly as we can. And while these black mages are doing those, I'm actually going to look up the Dilures and see if they have a weakness I can exploit. Wow. Come on. I'm in the, like, encounter things with them. Where's the first one? There it is. Alright. Elemental immunity, none. Status immunity, okay. No weaknesses, really. Just 1,000 hit points and big attack. Okay, so there's Fusion. Fusion is where they give their hit points to one of their companions. And boy, my Bolt 2 is not doing a ton of damage. Wow. This is where we're kind of starting to lose the effectiveness, efficacy, the efficacy of our damage spells. Well, at least he's going to be old before he dies. Is that going to do enough to kill him? Yes. That's what I thought. Save myself a little bit. And again, I'm just fighting those because they give a fairly decent reward in experience and gold. And I'm going to need a lot of both coming up. Because there's a few expensive weapons in the next town here, too. I could get the Sleep Sword. And the Sleep Sword is kind of expensive. I think it's 5,800 for the Sleep Sword. So it's going to take 4 of those multi-targeted Bolt 2 spells to bring them down, huh? 4 of those. There's also a better knife for the thief, but I'm going to wait till the Dancing Dagger. So I'm not going to pick up the knife that starts with an O. Or a Halcyon. Whatever it is. Yeah, Galef is getting down there. There's Fusion. Alright, so its hit points have been given to another one, and there's that one. So the remaining hit points of those other ones have been given to this one. But Bolt 2 without multi-targeting should do pretty good damage, but Fusion, I can't remember if Fusion restores them to full or if it only gives your remaining hit points to the other enemies. Let me look up Fusion. I'm just curious now. Okay. Target's current HP equals target's max HP. Okay, Yeah, so it does. It restores them to max. It restores the hit points of the companion that it's targeting to max. So actually, the double fusion was not so good for them. Okay, drain, break, and bio, and see how much. Oh, whoops! I did not mean to do that. I need to get some more money, and I can sell a few things. Because I would like break. I should have picked up break, is what I was really shooting to pick up. Okay, I'll get rid of this. And you can see this is quite a poor run. You can see this is a very poor run. And can I get above 3,000 to pick up that other spell? Can I get above? Can I get another couple hundred? I can sell some of these Mage Mashers because I don't... well, I don't want to do that. Nope, I'm going to go out and fight one more battle. Too bad. And I guess I'll wait to pick up Bio. Because I'm also going to get the epee soon. I'm also going to get the epee soon once I go to the next castle. So the epee is going to be a step up from the sleep sword. And whatever there. I should have picked up break. I didn't mean to hit A for drain. I didn't see how poor I was. And just as I did is when I was hitting A for buying drain. When I really just needed break. Drain's not a spell that I will use very often with the Black Mage. I will not use Drain very much. Mostly because its accuracy is very low. Buy. Break. Okay, that's what I need. And I may actually... Because I am so poor, I may actually sit through this cutscene just to get a stay at the inn. Just because I'm so poor. You get a free stay at the inn here, but you have to your price for the inn is a cutscene. Forgive my fast forward. He's in the pub late at night. Oh, there's a path back there. Is there... That might just be the piano. I think that might just be the piano back there. I'll take a look when we come back during the day. Now, after this, you have to pay for your inn stays. After this, you have to pay. But, let me just double check that there's not some money back here. I think it is just the piano. Back here. Yeah. That's all it is. Just the piano. Alright, let me make a purchasing plan here. Because I'm going to get the Dancing Dagger for the Thief, and then I think immediately after that I'm going to pick up the epee. So actually I don't think I need anything else here. But between here and the Moogle Cave, I'm going to be fighting pretty much everything I run into. Just to pick up a few more, because I'm at level 19 is pretty low for this point in the game with this party, I think. It's kind of high for where I would usually be in a normal run. And if I could be passing skills back and forth between my characters, that would be fine. Alright, let's see if I can get a lucky break here. Ha 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 ha. Nope, missed. But I'm going to try to conserve a little bit of MP so I can heal more with tents and stuff. And I know that my knight and my thief can take out these guys in one hit each between each other. All right, here we go. And so in this battle, I'm going to be breaking constantly and trying to land all the breaks I can. So these guys are going to be losing MP pretty quickly. And break is not 100% accurate. It has its own accuracy, and then it checks on your level versus the enemy's level. So there is another advantage to leveling up is you can your percentage-based status spells like that will hit with a little bit more frequency if you are a higher level. And let's see if we get lucky and both of these land. There's Lena. Let's see if Galef can land his. There we go. And just to look at what these guys give you, 1,200 and then 441 experience, but only 1 AP. Unfortunately, the only thing I'm really grinding for an AP here is Mug for my Thief, and I really don't need that. I'd like it earlier, obviously, but I don't really need it until World 3. Until I pick up the chicken knife. And once I pick up the chicken knife, then it's going to be very important that I have Mug. But I have a feeling with all of the grinding I'm going to have to do, I think I shouldn't have any problem learning Mug. And when you do have a Thief that you have to keep a Thief like this and you can't have another ability on them, it's nice because you can pick up a lot of stuff stealing with Mug because there's really nothing else for your Thief to be doing. Let's see if they can team up on that guy. There we go. And there's Break. And Break works on lots of random enemies. So it's almost never a bad idea to cast Break. It does eat up a good chunk of MP, but it's not too bad. Okay, and there's Galef's a couple levels behind because I leveled up a couple levels to beat Titan and Chimera Brain, or whatever it is. Alright, let's tent up here. I don't think I've spent enough MP to warrant the use of a cabin. That's all. That's the only reason why. Alright, here we go. Alrighty, Spadity. So, on my way to the Moogle Cave here. I'm just going to equip my Thunder Rods. Most of the things down here are weak to lightning elements, so a couple of Bolt 2s will take out some bigger groups of enemies, which is nice. I would say I may pick up another level or so in here, especially for Galef, who's behind. And it saves me some MP because, obviously, the Bolt 2s are cheaper than the Break spell. But I almost always run from everything in here, but I have a feeling for right now I'm going to be casting spells and fighting my way through. These guys may not be weak to Bolt. We'll see here. I'm going to wait and see what happens with Lena's first. Is that enough to kill it? No, not quite enough to kill it. Okay, yep. And this actually might be enough to kill this one single targeting. So that's the hope, is that I can only spend 10 MP per Black Mage each battle. That's the hope, anyway. We'll see. We'll see. These guys are interesting. You can confuse these guys and do some other kind of funky things with these guys. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, they are susceptible to aging status, although in random battles, aging status is a little less important. Yeah, there we go. So they are weak. And this second Bolt 2 should take him out if we can get it out before Galef gets killed by all these random attacks, which he will get killed. Oh, man. All 3 attacks going Galef's way. And Galef not having quite enough speed to get a turn before they all fire off. Galef is a fairly slow character. It'll be a lot better once I do pick up Kryl. Kryl has a better magic stat and maybe a better speed stat. She might have a better speed stat. Now let's see if Lena can avoid having every single attack go her way this time. Let's see if she can avoid getting 3 scissor attacks in a row. Let's try it. Okay, good. Good dodge. All right, there's Lena. 1 for Lena. 2 for Lena. Man, oh man. These guys really know who to target. They really know who they need to be putting their attacks on. So that's going to cost me... This is going to cost me another Phoenix down to bring Galef back. Although I suppose not technically, but I would like him to get some more experience because right now he's the one who's down in experience. But, you know, maybe I can get away with not doing it. I'll leave him... Maybe I'll leave him down, and then he can catch up when we do our grinding route later. He doesn't need the AP at all. I don't need my Black Mages to get any ability points at all, because they're going to be Black Mages. I guess they'll learn... these guys I don't want to fight, because they have Drain. Those guys I don't want to fight. These guys I'll definitely fight, though. But the Black Mages, when they master, they'll learn MP plus 30%. I think it's plus 30%. And that'll be a nice one. It'll be a nice combination with the 2 gold hairpins that I'll find. Man, there's those attacks going after my Black Mage again. These guys really know who to target. They're like, I've got a Knight and a Thief right out there in the front row, guys. But they're reaching to the back row. So I think I will save my Phoenix down. And I'll leave Galef a little bit behind in levels again. Because he'll catch up. When you level up, they'll catch up. Because when they're behind, it takes less experience for them to get levels up than the higher level characters. So if you do some grinding, as I plan to do in the forest of Mua or more, holy Hannah, they are really going after Lena. Lena getting crushed. Man, Lena. Not enough. All right, well, there's a parry. There's a dodge. There's a dodge. Okay. Wowee. Okay. I'm gonna throw a few more potions on her. And yeah, again, fighting these battles just to pick up a little bit more experience and money. I'm also broke. I am broke this run. And I think it's because most of my World 1 bosses could be handled without a lot of grinding. Most of the World 1 stuff. And then I had to buy every rod that World 1 had. With the few funds that I did have, I bought every rod that they had. And I also, some of my World 1 grinding was on the mini dragons, and the mini dragons take a couple of rods per battle to beat. So you actually are in the red when you fight those mini dragons. It costs you more money in rods than it does to beat them. Now, if you have ninjas, especially ninjas and black mages, where you can put the black secondary ability on the ninja, then you can use the scrolls to fight those guys. You can use the ninja scrolls, and those are a lot cheaper than breaking rods. They don't do quite as much damage, but if your ninja has black magic, then you can really rock it. And don't want to fight these guys, so I think I might be ready to fight the Tyrannosaur, and I'm just going to use Phoenix down strats on him. And Galef will miss out on 9 AP, which is not awesome, but it's that the 1,000 gold for the Phoenix down is just a little bit too dear a price for me at this point right now, because it is 1,000 gold for a Phoenix down in this game. First Phoenix down misses. That's unfortunate, because that's another 1,000. Second Phoenix down misses. This is pretty bad luck. Most of the time I get it on the first round. I think the Phoenix downs have a pretty good accuracy to hit, and it is 9 AP, and there's the elixir. It is 9 ability points, though. And Galef is down those. I was hoping to save some Phoenix downs. I guess now I'm even more glad that I saved Phoenix downs, because it took me 3 to beat that stupid guy. It took me 3 to beat the stupid guy. So anyway, we meet our Moogle friends, and we're going to get the Dancing Dagger and the Epee sword. Now the sleep sword is nice, but it's not as strong as the epee sword. For my knight, this is the Moogle telling us don't walk across the desert because you're going to fight a land crawl or some other really nasty World 3 enemy. What is the land crawl's move again? Is it called Crush? I think it's called Crush. All right, I think it's called Crush that the land crawl or the sand crawl enemies have. And I don't even think I need to use a tent here. I'm not even going to use the tent. So Galef is still going to be dead as we make our way through here, but there's no battles that you fight if you stay out of the desert. That's what the Moogle friend was telling us. There's sand crawlers in the desert and no random battles in these forests. And then our Moogle friend showed us where the Moogle village is, where we have more mashing. And we pick up a good chunk of money, which is good because we are just broke. We are just broke. So there's a good chunk of money in here, and then an elf cape and a dancing dagger. Those are the notable, unique pieces of equipment that are hanging out there. I've got to remember that I need to buy bio, because when I fight the dragon pod a little bit later on here in World 2, I'm going to need that bio spell. Okay, here we go. Here's where we can start collecting all of this fun stuff. Mashing through the text. 10,000, there's one dancing dagger and the cabin. So yeah, my thief can use the dancing dagger, and it's a pretty big upgrade, as you can see in damage, 36 to 51. That's the only way the thief can really boost his damage is with new weapons. Thankfully, when we get the chicken knife, the thief will become a very valuable asset to the party indeed. And so the thief will be able to be mugging and attacking with the chicken knife with no run prompt. So I'll be able to attack 100% of the time with the chicken knife, with the thief, right up front. There's the elf cape. Okay. And this guy's waiting for me, so that's the trigger for the next part, the next cutscene. I'm going to go mute for a second during this next sequence. On we go. On we go. We've talked through the Moogles. Here we are. I was checking my stream settings there during the short mute. Okay, show me where. Show me where. Hear you. And now it's going to fly me to Ball Castle. I think it's Ball Castle. Surrogate Castle comes a little later. All right, here we go. There we go, on to the castle. That's a longer cutscene than I kind of remember when I do it without fast forwarding, which I try not to do on stream. Alright, so I'll grab a couple things here. I might actually go down and fight a couple of statue battles. I want to see if my knight is fast enough to get a turn before on the 2 statue battles, to see if my knight is fast enough to get a turn before them. So I might burn up some softs just to get some cash. I know the AP is going to be nice and it's going to get my thief closer to mastered, but I might just get some cash that way. All right. Boy, this cutscene really continues, I guess. I normally fast forward through a lot of cutscenes, but man. I am considering buying the Japanese Super Famicom cartridge of this and modding my Friendly Neighborhood Super NES to play it and stream it from there once my capture card comes in, which should be this week. Okay, yeah, sadly I cannot use that exit spell, but I will use the, I think I have to trigger this cutscene. If I was a speedrunner, I would know all of the things that I needed to do and things that I did not need to do. But this might not be one that you actually need to trigger. I might be able to just go on from there. I'd have to check some of the documents on this game before doing that. So more mashing, unfortunately. And the emulator I'm using is unfortunately a Mac emulator. It's called OpenEMU, and it works. It's a multi-platform emulator that works for Macs because I am using a Mac at the moment. But it does not have a lot of the tools that I like on other emulators. It uses the engines of a lot of the emulators that we know and love. SNEX 9X is the emulator core that I'm using right now. Although when I play the Ancient Cave, I have to use the Hygen SNES emulator. All right, let me throw a couple of softs at some statues and see what happens. Oh, I guess I need to stay at the local inn first, because that's cheaper than buying a tent, but I will stay at the local inn, and I guess I can pick up the treasures that are in here also then, and sell those off. But yeah, so just like that, I went from nothing to I've got 20,000 now. After picking up the 10,000 in the Moogle Cave. Or the Moogle, not the Moogle Cave, the Moogle Forest. I'll pick up a few high potions, and I do need some Revivifies. Not many, but I'll pick up a few. But I definitely am going to need some high potions. That's not going to be enough to really cover me too much, but I haven't picked up a whole lot of cell bait stuff yet. I can get rid of my hero drink, but most of the stuff that I don't need, and I can't sell off Ramu, unfortunately. Rama. Let me just use him to get him out of my inventory. There's the sound effect. Now we'll never hear it again this run. We'll never hear the Rama sound effect. Because we will never summon him. And I do need to pick up that bio spell, and now I've got some money for it. But I'm going to pick up a couple of items that I can sell here. These things I'm not going to actually ever equip. The Angel Robe and the Lamia Harp. Or Angel Suit. I think it's Angel Robe in the GBA, but I have to run through this little cutscene where I play Dragon Warrior 4 for a little bit. This is Final Fantasy V Dragon Quest IV Simulator. And I'm going to sell both of those things, and it's going to get me a couple thousand. It's not going to get me much. Selling both things is going to get me probably not enough to even buy the bio spell. Oops. Went the wrong way. Up. Down. That's time. Alright, there's bio, and I wish I had... I should have even bought Drain right now, although it would be unfortunate to have to try to chase it down later. Before I do that, let me just make sure that she can't equip the Angel Suit, can she? No, she can't. The Angel Suit is kind of notable as a chemist item, which is really weird. And the Lamia Harp, obviously, is a bard weapon. Yeah, there we go. So it got me 3,100. 3,100 is what it got me. I'm gonna wait on the Slumber Sword. And I may just pick up... Yeah, I may pick up these for my black mages. Again, I don't like to spend a ton on stuff, but going from nothing to 14 is pretty good. Oh, do I need another tricorn hat? She's got one. So going from nothing to 14 is definitely good, but you don't always necessarily have to go to the best level possible all the time. I guess that's what I was going for there. And where's the Silk Robe? It's a pittance, but it's there. All right, so now I'm going to go down and throw some softs at some statues. I won't grind too long on statues, but it will help a little bit, because they don't give much in XP. It's mostly gold and in AP. And the Thief's got some grinding to do before he's picking up Mug. And actually, I don't even know off the top of my head if that level will get him Mug or not. And I can also try to steal the Twin Lance, which would be a huge coup if my Thief can pick up the rare steel here. So maybe I should throw on the Thief Glove for that guy. I'm thinking I will. I'm thinking I will throw on the Thief Glove to my Thief. Because you can get a late game weapon here way early. And if I can chance upon stealing one, that would be huge. Yeah, 4 AP and a lot of money. Not a lot of experience at all. But let me throw the Thief Glove on him. And let me get the Elf Cape on these guys. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Well, this is certainly going to be a good chance. Yeah, high potions, and that's another thing, is high potions are certainly nothing to sneeze at stealing. But you have to be careful because these guys will start to cast Break on your guys if they get to their second action. If they get to their second action, they can start casting Break. Their first is Fight Nothing Nothing, and then their second action is Fight Break Nothing, and then the third action is Fight Break Break. So those of you who know how to read the algorithms guide know what that means. It means most likely they're going to do nothing their first turn. Yeah, there's Lena getting crushed, because these guys will crush you. There's another high potion. These guys will absolutely destroy you. But this will get my thief all that much closer all the time. These guys are great to grind on. Tons of money. Tons of AP. You can steal the high potion. You can steal the twin lance early. Yeah, 2,500. 2,500 gil for that battle. Which is huge. And you have an inn right here. And I don't even need the epee sword yet, because the only kind of offense I'm taking against these guys is a soft. It's the only offense I'm going to throw at these guys. Is the soft potion. Let's see if I can get lucky. Let's see if we can get lucky. I'm gonna wait and see if I can get away with letting that other statue hang around for another steal. All right, there we go. I can, and even these high potions, it's not a loss. Because high potions I need, and high potions I don't have a lot of money for right now. So this is good. Alright, black level 5 for Galef, that's okay. It doesn't really help much. Again, black MP plus 30 is what we're looking for. And nothing there. Okay, I'm still gonna get rid of these guys as fast as I can. Because these guys can start to kill you really quickly. And these guys actually give you more money than the softs that they give you, so you can, even if you're paying full price for softs, which I bought a bunch of them back in Licks. I maybe should have bought 99, but whatever. I bought 60 of them. You can still be in the black if you're paying full price for softs, because they cost 150 each. You can still be making a profit from these guys. And there we go. That's why we don't want to fight too many of these guys. That's why we don't want to fight too many. But these guys do not drop the Twin Lance. You can only steal it from them. So only if you have a thief can you make that happen. I'll do another descent down into there. I wish it had been another character that had gotten blurped. And I guess I can probably, with this, put everybody in the back row since I'm just chucking softs at everybody. Because there was a slight execution error on my part. I could have just had everybody in the back row. Oh well. Pardon my fast forward again. Hey, Knightdom98. Thank you for popping in. I'm glad you found my my stream here today. I'm just in World 2 here. I'm hoping to get a very, very lucky grab of the Twin Lance from these statues. I'm not going to grind too long on them, though, if I don't get it. I'm just trying to pick up a little bit of gold and a little bit of of AP and a few high potions as well. So we'll see what they cough up. It's mostly high potions, and you only have about a 3% chance of nabbing the rare steel from an enemy. Unfortunately, it's roughly a 3% chance. So it's a very, very, very big RNG dice roll. And there we go. He survived a smack. But at least he can attempt another steal. Oh, there's the double lance. Whoa! There is the big one. There's the big one. There's the big one. That's the big one. Yes, Knightdom 98. It is a rare steal from those statues. The double lance is a rare steal from those statues. And you can see that I picked it up. And wow. That is it, man. That is it. I've never actually gotten that this early in the game with the thief. There's my save there. We all saw it happen. We all saw it happen. But it is a very, very slim chance to grab it. Okay, Knightdom, you only play Ancient Cave. Then maybe you know that I am doing an Ancient Cave project that kind of got interrupted by the Fiesta. I was doing a series, like a sort of guide, sort of walkthrough on my YouTube channel of the Ancient Cave. I'm not really an expert on the Ancient Cave, but I thought I would make a video series just kind of showing what some of the boss floors looked like for anyone who was curious about what the Ancient Cave looked like. Yeah, that's how you found me. Okay, yeah. That is awesome, man. Well, thank you. Ancient Cave is not something I do a lot, as I'm sure you can probably tell by my commentary on my Ancient Cave videos. But I do like to give exposure to ROM hacks that I feel deserve more of an audience. I know that you are aware that the Ancient Cave is a pretty awesome piece of ROM hackery, and part of my YouTube channel is exposing those kinds of things. So things like Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 5 hacks that I think need a bigger audience. I hope to provide that. And some people have said that they have found ROM hacks through my channel and played them. And so there I feel like my work is justified a little bit there. Now it's a good question to note if you can steal a double lance from those statues in the Ancient Cave. Now I know you wouldn't want to be wasting a lot of time on an Ancient Cave run trying to steal a rare steal from an enemy like that. But on a casual or a Fiesta run like this, it certainly is worth a shot. I should have confirmed. I'm pretty sure I bought that bio spell because I'm gonna need that for the dragon pod. Yes, boy, I tell you, Knightdom, double lance is an awesome weapon to have. I am so glad I picked that up. That was really, really awesome. I was definitely not expecting to get it. I was gonna do one more just run down there and just until they drain my hit points, and then I picked it up. So that is a really nice pickup. Although, unfortunately, unlike with the ninjas, I'm not going to be using the double lance once we get to World 3, but boy, here in World 2, it's going to come in very, very handy. Did I put me... all right. I think my Thunder Rods are still on. Epé's got nice damage. Speaking of... Speaking of the Ancient Cave, did I try Beyond Babel for FF4? No. Is that another Ancient Cave kind of ROM hack for FF4? I have to admit that I have not done a whole lot of work with Final Fantasy IV. I have played through it and beaten it a couple of times, but I haven't really done any of the ROM hacks for it. I haven't done any work on because I don't know the mechanics of Final Fantasy IV or 6 as well. Kind of my next goal is to kind of learn the mechanics of 4 and 6 a little bit better. But for right now, I'm just I know the algorithms guide for FF5 I know really, really well. And Final Fantasy 1 I know also fairly well, so I can do some challenge runs and ROM hacks on both of these games. But FF4, I feel like if I was going to try a kind of hard type or a challenge... Nope, not bolts. On that one, I would be struggling a little bit. Oof. And, of course, I don't have a Beastmaster, so I don't have to worry about trying to catch one of those Konago frogs. Guy says, "Gimme your frogs." Guy who eats frogs, give me your frog. There we go. Okay, that's what I want. I really just want that experience, because I need a few more levels. Okay, so it's Beyond Babel is like a ancient cave, but with no time limit. Well, that would certainly change the dynamic of the game a lot. If the ancient cave had no time limit, it would be a very, very different kind of game. There we go. And you don't need to run too far into that room. I think you just need to go up to just past the doorway and try to go out. So, okay, so like the ancient cave, but no time limit. It's a bit easier, but still fun. That would be good. Maybe that would be a fun way for me to learn the mechanics on that. I've always wanted to kind of learn the speedrun route on the US version of Final Fantasy IV. The kind of common short speedrun of just beginning to Paladin. They have a big tournament on that every year on RPG Limit Break. I've kind of wanted to learn the speedrun route just for that first hour of the game. As it is the only speedrun that I've ever really done is on an NES game called the Blue Marlin. That's the only game I've ever tried to really work out a speed route for. But I've done lots of challenge runs on FF5 and lots of ROM hacks of FF1. Seems like there's more ROM hacks of Final Fantasy 1. I'm not sure if that's just because Final Fantasy 1 is a simpler ROM to build hacks on, but I tried playing a Final Fantasy 5 spoof ROM hack, but it turns out it was an incomplete version of the spoof, and a different one that what is kind of pointed to now. I don't know if you saw any of that, Knightdom, but I didn't realize it was incomplete when I started making the series, and then I got to the end of World 1, and then one of the characters said, by the way, this is the end. This is the end of the spoof hack. Yeah, so Knightdom, the Blue Marlin is a fishing game. So it is named after the fish, the Blue Marlin. It's a fishing game for NES. It was kind of a relatively obscure fishing game for the NES. And not a whole lot of people have loved it, but a lot of people seem to have played it or rented it in the time. So I do have an NES cart of it, and someday I do plan to try to get the speedrun route going on it on console. I've done a bunch of emulator speedruns and worked with, I wrote a big FAQ on the Blue Marlin for GameFAQs with a couple of other players who kind of helped work on the ROM with me. So the Blue Marlin is kind of one of my other passion projects, but I don't do a lot of video content on it because it's a fairly short game. And yes, you saw the first episode of the spoof run. I didn't love it because my sense of humor has kind of evolved beyond the like very juvenile, very not very progressive humor of that one. I understand that the kind of current version of FF5 spoof is a little bit more grown up than just making really awful jokes about gay people, which is kind of what that first one was. So it was a little bit cringe-inducing to read some of that dialogue, I have to say. This is another long cutscene. Then we have the little Shinto shrine there. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and call that the Manji Cave and not the Swastika Cave. So I call it the Manji Cave. And I would imagine these guys in Japan would figure that out. They were not thinking of swastikas, they were thinking of manji symbols. And are we on our way? All right, there we go. I do not need the Requiem song. Sadly, as much as I would love to use that Requiem song in the next dungeon here, I do not need it, so I don't have to talk to those little kids. Little kid wolves. All right, I do have the Biospell. All right, so we're in okay shape, but I do need to go back. I need to buy a Venom Rod. I forgot to buy a Venom Rod in town before I got out of there. And these guys, I don't love the zombie inflicting enemies and stuff like that. I don't love those kinds of things, so I'm going to run from those guys. But easily won battles that I can just kind of clear out and get some cheap XP. I'm going to be fighting. Yeah, let's get two. I don't want tons of them. I don't want tons of them. And this is the same as, yeah, that's the same as the castle. I'm not going to update any armor things. I know there's technically some better armor out there than what I'm sitting on, but I just kind of... I don't love spending a lot of money on armor. In this game, I feel like armor doesn't have quite as much of an effect as your weapon. Alright, here we go. And I don't plan on fighting very many... nasties in here. I might put fire rods in and try some fires on if I get like a solo zombie dragon, not the bone dragons. I don't like dealing with bone dragons, but I might do a solo zombie dragon. I might cast fire too. Bone dragons, I'm just gonna be out because I don't like that bone ability that takes you to critical. I have better uses for my healing items than things that inflict weak status on me. And I do like on the Super NES version having... Oops, there we go. Oh, how did I kill the 3 chimeras on floor 44? How did I kill those 3 chimeras? You got me thinking now. I'll have to go back and see. I don't remember how I killed them. I've been making kind of heavy use of sword dance and dancing, but the 3 chimera battle... You know what? I don't think I ran into that one. Now that you mention it, I was reading Dryzalizer's guide, and Dryzalizer had a list of the different things you can fight. I think I did not run into a 3 chimera battle. Now, I think I kind of have that floor in my head now, because there's several different kinds of battles you can get into there, and I think I did not get into a 3 chimera battle. That's it. So the answer to your question is I didn't. And I know that was when I read the description of the because I did fight the 3 different kinds of turtles. Oh, there's the hole. And it like got the turtles. Yeah, so Night Dim, I didn't fight him, and I don't know off the top of my head how you would kill them, because I don't know if they function the same way as the other ones. If they're using Aqua Rake or Aqua Breath on you and stuff, like, boy, that would be really tough. If they're throwing all of the big Chimera stuff at you. I mean, they suppose they might be kind of susceptible to the same things they are in this game, so if you do have access to, like, a Doom Axe or something, that could be one way to handle them. But boy, other than that... Yeah, because, like, Doom Axe are just, like, grinding for good luck, although grinding for good luck is not really a good solution in a true Ancient Cave run, though. Let's see my double lance. Yeah, still pretty good damage on the dragon here. And I think even my Fire 2s are going to be okay. With a Fire Rod boosted. I wish I had Fire 3. Oh yeah. Wow, definitely nice damage. So Night Dim, in the regular game, the Chimeras are weak to Doom Axe, yes. A lot of stuff that pops up in World 1 is weak to Doom because you're not supposed to really have access to Doom, except for the Doom Axe. So that's one way you can take them down. If you do have access to Doom, you can bring them down that way. But that's pretty, obviously, it's like not something you want to bet a run on when you're at floor 44. Or it's not something I would want to bet a run on. But yeah, I will definitely take these zombie dragon fights where I can take them out in a round. Not a lot of parties give you that much flexibility. I guess a round and a half, maybe. Yeah, let's call it a round and a half. because I'll take the 2 AP. Coronet is nice just for selling. I'm just going to be selling it. Although you have to be careful if you're not really watching. The Coronet can get equipped on your magely characters, because it's technically a little bit better than the stuff you have right now, but it's definitely worth more as a sell bait for me at this point. But yeah, that double-handed épée with the Knight, and Rod boosted Fire 2 into a weakness, even with the Zombie Dragon. That's really nice. And it looks like I only have to eat 1 attack from it. And I can put the Elf Cape back on my Thief, now that I think of it, because I'm not really stealing. Because you can try to steal Dark Matters from those guys, but it is really a very low % chance. Actually, I'm going to go with the Silver Ring on these guys, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking there for a minute. I guess I do know what I was thinking. I was thinking that I still had leather shoes. Because a lot of these runs, I do hold on to those leather shoes for a long time, because I don't buy a lot of accessories without extra functionality to them. Alright, that's worth fighting. Each Dragon Fang is worth some money, which I'm going to need money. And then, of course, the couple of AP for each of these guys. Oh, Knightdom, these zombie dragons made you stop playing FF5. That's too bad, man, because they are a very frustrating enemy. And if you don't have access to easy ways to beat them, they can be really frustrating. I understand that. If you don't mind me asking, which version were you playing on at that time? Was it GBA, or was it that awful PlayStation version, or was it the I prefer this Super NES with the RPGE translation patch on it. You were on the GBA, okay. Yeah, those guys can be nasty. But now, when you say it was some kind of castle, is it possible that you were fighting shield dragons and not zombie dragons? Because in that Kuza castle in World 2, you can fight another enemy that shares that same sprite, but it's a different colored sprite, but it's called a shield dragon. And those guys are even worse than these guys. They're even more difficult to beat. But you can beat them with if you have Beastmasters, and you can control them to kind of nerf themselves a little bit. But when you mentioned some kind of castle, that made me think of shield dragons and maybe not zombie dragons. Not sure, but just curious. And then, of course, maybe after that you switched to Ancient Cave and never went back. Which is totally fine. Alright, here's the Dragon Pod, or Here You Plant. And I'm just going to go with Bio Swords on it. This guy is also weak to Doom, but obviously at this point in the game there's not another good way to do that without... is it Venom Rod? Yeah, we're good. And yeah, Bio is an all-targeting... Let me just go right with the pod here. Will it take out the... Yeah, it'll take out the little guys. And then I'll go right into the pod with the rod. Yeah. It's still not huge damage, but this thing only has, I think, 12,000 something hit points. So as long as I can get good damage... Yeah, so if you say it was in a castle really early in World 2, I'm gonna definitely say those were shield dragons, and those guys are really nasty. And actually, they're supposed to, although it's not really telegraphed very well in the game, they're supposed to tell you that you're not supposed to be here yet. But I think a lot of players probably ran into that castle thinking, like, am I supposed to be ready for these guys? And I'm just not. I just keep getting my butt whipped. But those guys are supposed to communicate to the player, hey, you're not supposed to be here yet. Get out of here for now and come back later. But I don't feel like that was very well telegraphed to a player who didn't really have access to, a FAQ about the whole game. So that might be a slight failing in the design of this game. There goes the Dragon Pod, easy peasy. But I feel like a lot of early RPGs had places like that. Like, rather than block something off for you and say, hey, you're not supposed to be here, we're not going to let you go here yet, they let you go in, and it's supposed to signal to you, like, hey, maybe later in the game you should come back here. Maybe later in the game you should be here. Because you're fighting Khuzar beasts and shield dragons and stuff that just keep killing you. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that I'm inside the heads of the designers of the game, but those are just my thoughts on what they did. I don't need Golem, unfortunately. I wish I could get Golem, but without summoners, can't do Golem. And without a Time Mage, I can't warp out of here like you're supposed to, because you just picked up the exit spell. So this is the first dungeon in a while that they don't give you a warp tile out of here. And while I'm here, I'm just going to switch back to Fire Rods, in case I do run into another zombie dragon on its own. Okay, yeah, I agree there, Knightdom. They didn't really tell you exactly where you're supposed to go. They just they had you go down to that castle, and then if you figured out I'm not supposed to go to the castle, you were supposed to go farther south from the castle. But I can definitely see a player going, oh, well, I'm supposed to be here, right? This is like how RPGs work. You go from one place to the next place to the next place. So they didn't really tell you, like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, and here's where you should go, because there's the next area down there. But there isn't, to go to the Moogle cave, I guess there isn't a marker there. You have to just kind of walk through a little bottleneck in the mountains to trigger the scene where you meet the Moogle. So yeah, you're right. That part of the game, to someone without a FAQ in front of them, is really not communicated very well. I'm just going to keep getting out of these because the Bone Dragons are really terrible, in my opinion. Their rewards are not as good as the cost to fight these guys. Alright, so after this we've got more cutscenes. Unfortunately, we'd have just more to do. There's Golem. Golem's normally a bro, except he's going to be smacking us around. And I hope my thief doesn't get taken out by another Golem, so I can continue to use my escape ability. This is a classic run, so I cannot switch my party members or my abilities around. I have to just use the ones that the players learn naturally, because it's an FF1 style run. Let's see if this is... but I think down here you can't fight Golem. I think it's just Drippies and the Sting Eagles down here. Alright, there we go. So pretty easy Dragon Pod fights. I'll fight this one just because. Good block, good dodge. Alright, there's the frogs. And they do escape with some regularity because it's supposed to be hard for you to catch them once they've taken a hit. I don't know if Bio's going to do it. Bio might actually heal this guy. I haven't looked at this guy. If he's undead, Bio's going to heal him. No? Okay. Yeah, I forget that Bio's actually a pretty good damage spell, and I didn't have a rod there for that one. So Knightdom, it's actually even more restricted than what you suggest. So I cannot use any other jobs except Thief, Black Mage, and Knight, and they have to be on these characters. So Butts has to stay a Thief the entire game. Lena has to stay a Black Mage. Galef/Krill has to be a Black Mage, sorry. And Ferris has to be a Knight. So just like FF1, it's not just that you can use just the crystals from the first one. You're locked to your class the entire game. You can't switch any abilities. You can't switch your class ever. So that truly makes it FF1 style. And so it's unfortunate that, like, sometimes you run into parties where you're like, oh man, I wish I could just use, black magic on my other guy here, but nope, can't do it. Can't do it. So, like, I'd like to be able to pass on black magic. So for Neo X Death, so I'd like to be able to cast Break on the Almagest piece of Neo X Death more than once. Knightdom, that is harsh, that's true, but that's the nature of the Fiesta. That is just how it works. But I signed up for a classic run. So one of the categories you can play in the 4-job Fiesta is it's called a classic run. So you're assigned random jobs, but they're only using jobs that were available in FF1. And then your characters have to stay locked. So this is far from the worst party you can get in a classic run. You could get like Thief, Thief, Monk, Monk. And then they have to stay locked into those characters. You could get that. You could get like Thief, 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 Red Mage. Or any combination of parties that you could have in FF1. So definitely there are worse parties to have. I'm lucky I don't have any red mages. I'd rather have 2 black mages than a black and a red. Although for a lot of the game, black and red would be a little bit more utility. But right now we're reaching the part of the game where having a black and a red is going to be a real liability here very soon in this game. Having a red mage is going to really be rough. Because it's right about this like midpoint of World 2 that they start to just kind of run out of any utility at all. And I think, and again, this is my inner not speedrun studier talking. I think, oh, I do have to come back and talk to Kara. I thought that I could skip the Kara cutscene and just go right to the dragon, but I do have to go to Kara. Oh well. There's one thing that you don't have to deal with in the Ancient Cave, and that's cutscenes. There are no cutscenes in the Ancient Cave. You just get it started, and off you go. And we have to trigger another cutscene here with Guido's Cave. And I don't need the float spell. Knightdom, that is a really great question, and that is a question that has been talked about in our community, in the 4-job Fiesta community, is could you upgrade from Thief to Ninja? Because technically, obviously, in FF1 you can. That's something that's been kind of hotly debated in the community, and right now, it obviously is not part of the game, but some people have suggested saying, like, maybe at the point that Galef dies and turns into Kryl, could you then turn your thief one time from a thief into a ninja and then never use the thief again? And it's something that I think they're thinking about maybe doing, but as of right now, you cannot. But that is a really great question, and certainly one that has been talked about in the Fiesta community. It's something that I think would be really interesting and would make getting a thief a lot better in your classic runs, in your FF1 style runs, and would certainly still work for the theme. So it's a really great thought. Now the next question would be whether you'd be able to still use the steal ability with the ninja, whether you'd still be able to use the thief's ability. Like, could you grind your thief up to learn mug before you switch to ninja, and then be using mug with double lance and a chicken knife on your thief, and just have it be like way OP? And that'd be cool. Yes, it does seem logical, because you're right. The thief is almost useless for most of the time through. Although I've pointed out that it's cool. One of the great things about the Fiesta is that you can kind of finally use some of the abilities on party when you don't have access to everything. And like, I have to use a thief. It's kind of nice to have a thief around for the kind of passive no back attack ability. It's kind of nice to have around. It's not something I would sacrifice not having a better job class for. But it's kind of nice to not have back attacks, and it's nice to have access to, the escape ability easily, kind of naturally. Obviously, in the Super NES version here, it's nice to have the the B dash available to you all the time. It's nice to have that without needing to equip another ability. So that's one of the things that Fiesta really does best, is kind of forcing you to use jobs that normally you kind of graduate from and never use again. And then obviously the thief has the chicken knife mug glitch. So once you've learned mug with your thief, you can use the chicken knife with impunity and never run away, because Mug overrides the chicken knife's flee check. So my thief will really become a really valuable character here once I pick up that chicken knife. And that's why it's almost sad that the twin lance is going to be kind of outmoded as soon as I hit World 3, because I'm going to be grabbing that chicken knife. And I'll be able to use it on all of those battles that you're not able to. Like, the Pyramid is going to be a fun area for this party, because they're going to have Rod-boosted Fire 3 spells blasting at all those undead, and the Thief attacking with the chicken knife with nothing to stop them, and then double-handed... it's going to be epee attacks, I guess, with the knife, or with the knight, because I will not have picked up the Excalibur yet. Yeah, you're right. In the Super NES one, there's no auto run, and I feel like that was a mistake. And I feel like even in Final Fantasy VI, kind of requiring you to use the sprint shoes was also kind of a bad choice. I feel like movement around the field is not something that you need to be sacrificing battle items for, and I think that's something that Square and Square Enix kind of learned. Although I haven't played any game newer than Final Fantasy IX in this series, so maybe they've unlearned that lesson. But FF9 was the last game that I really played in this series. All right, just checking my. Actually, I might go back to the Ancient Sword. This upcoming battle here with Gilgamesh is going to require a little bit of planning and a little bit of thinking. So let's see if I get it first time. Yes, that's right. There's you could have FF4 where there's no running option on the SNES. Yeah, where you just kind of crawl through all those dungeons. That's true. All right, I'm gonna have to think out loud for this Gilgamesh battle a little bit, because one thing this party does not have. Anything for healing. This party has very little healing at its disposal, and I'm thinking about things like Enkidu coming in and messing up my battle with Gilgamesh. I might just break some rods at both of them. I might just kind of just run them down and break some rods. Because once I pick up... shortly after this, I'll be picking up the third level spells, so maybe just breaking some rods will help get me through this. I am not at all opposed to breaking rods. Some players... Oops, I was holding B there to dash. Some players do not like breaking rods. They feel it's a little bit against the game, the spirit of the game, but I will be always in favor of breaking rods. But it'll be really to see if I can do that. Yes, there is something to steal in Gilgamesh. I believe this one has the Genji helmet. I believe this is the Genji helmet Gilgamesh, so I will be attempting to steal that. But then after that, I'm just going to be casting spells to get him down until he summons Enkidu, because I can't use the death spell on him. If you have a Berserker, you can actually hit this Gilgamesh with a Doomax and kill him. And then he'll some text will kind of come up like he's talking, but you get it's clearly something the designers did not plan for, was for you to hit Gilgamesh with an instant death spell. But you certainly can if you have access to a Doomax and a Berserker. And I think Enkidu also is vulnerable to Doomax, so you could get either of the two or both. But you can get Gilgamesh in the first round of battle if your Berserker just swings that Doomax and kills it in one. Pretty good. Alright. Twin Lance still in. And are we Ancient Sword or are we Epee? Okay, it's Ancient Sword still. I think this Gilgamesh is susceptible to Old, so I'm going to try to get Old on him. That's the purpose of having the Ancient Sword. After that, I'm going to... If I can get Old to land on him, I'm going to switch back to the Epee. But yes, I think it's Genji Helmet. Now, sadly, it's not something I can switch to in battle. Weapons you can steal and then switch to in battle, but you can't do that with armor. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Let's get old. Let's get an early old, shall we? There we go. First round old. Look at that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do a little more damage. I'm going to go with my Venom Rod and boost my Bio. Where's my Venom Rod? There we go. Because I always forget that Bio is such a good damage spell if you're smart enough to use it, which I'm not always smart enough to use it. Because it's just for a short, it's a very short time when Bio is a strong damage spell. It's a very short time. Okay, so there is Enkidu already, and he's going to heal Gilgamesh up to full. Yep, so there's Enkidu. Can I get it? There. Oh, it's the glove. It's not the helmet this time. It's the glove this time. All right. Oh, I should have switched. I should have switched him to the epee. Okay, so 4,000 for Enkidu back there. I gotta get him down before he starts using Vampire, because he's gonna be dangerous once he starts using Vampire. Okay, critical attack. That's fine for Enkidu. All right, that's not bad for him. Oh, cool. 700 even in the back row. So he must not have a back row modifier on. That's interesting. Let me see if the epee does similar damage. If this does over 1,000, well, I guess we'll never know, because he's going to be dead after probably one Bio here. Let's see if that does it. Yep, that does it. And Gilgamesh should eat just a few more attacks before he's down. So on a 4JF run with a chemist, it is technically not allowed. This is a great question, Nightdom. It's technically not allowed to glitch Xdeath out. You are supposed to submit a picture of Neo Xdeath fading away to get your victory submitted. So you are not supposed to use the Kiss of Blessing glitch on the tree form of Xdeath if you have a chemist. So it even says in the tweet, if you register and get a chemist, one of the messages is, don't glitch Xdeath, because you are not encouraged to glitch out skipping Neo Xdeath. That's another great question, though, Nightdom. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, because I can tell you're a very thoughtful person about this game, and that is awesome. All right, there's another gold shield. I don't really need another one. I'll just sell that off. It's okay, because I always need the money. But you are allowed to glitch out other stuff with Kiss of Blessing. So, for example, Shin Ryu, you can use Kiss of Blessing on Shin Ryu. You can Berserk Shin Ryu, no problem. You can Berserk a bunch of other bosses, Kiss of Blessing glitch on any other boss you feel like using the Kiss of Blessing glitch on. You can do that. But the one exception is Xdeath and Neo Xdeath. You are supposed to submit a picture of Neo Xdeath fading away. And that's fine, because I really like fighting Neo Xdeath. I find that Neo Xdeath fights are always exciting. They're always fresh. They're always new. They're always interesting for me. So even if I had the opportunity to glitch Xdeath, I wouldn't. I would fight Neo Xdeath, because I like fighting Neo. I just enjoy those fights. All right, I gotta queue this, and then I'll heal up after this. I don't think I'm gonna go for a wall ring. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky. Oh, you like to glitch your way through Pokemon Red? There are certainly plenty of glitches that you can get through Pokemon Red with. All the way from things like the Brock Skip, all the way up to just like crazy credit warp things. That game certainly has a lot of exploits you can use. And I admit that's a game I played a ton of. Pokemon Blue was a game I played a ton of back in the late 90s, in about 98, 99, shortly after it came out, until about 2001 or 2. So for those few years, I was playing a ton of Pokemon Blue. Although I wasn't using tricks like the Brock Skip or anything like that. I wasn't sneaking any of that nonsense. But I don't think I'm going to go for a wall ring here. And the reason why is that I've got access to those 3rd level black spells. And I think that's going to be enough damage to help me with X-Death. Yeah, I wish I knew the glitches when I was a kid on Pokemon also. When I first started playing Pokemon Blue, it was on an emulator called No Cache Game Boy, and it was one of the first Game Boy emulators out there. And it had no sound. The sound just didn't work on it. The sound just did not work. Oh, actually, you know what? I can get a wall ring. Now that I'm thinking of it, I can get a wall ring if I fight Carbuncle. So there we go. That's what I will do. I will fight Carbuncle. Is this going to reflect the old spell on me? That's good. I can steal one from Carbuncle, so there we go. So I'll get at least one wall ring, and that will be fine. Enough for me to beat X-Death. I'm glad I thought that through for a second. Because these wall knights they can be a pain. Because obviously, with a magic-heavy party like this, they're reflecting all of your nonsense back at you. And... oh, I think I might still have... do I still have the Ancient Sword or do I have the epee on? And their defense is way high, so, like, it just gets annoying. It just gets annoying. Oh, she's got the epee. She's good. She's good. But I'll fight these guys anyway. And if I come up with an extra wall ring, I guess I come up with one. But I can't use the bio spell on them. These guys, I don't want to be dealing with Flash. And I don't know that I'll use the Drain Sword, but I want to just kind of do this anyway. But I definitely want to pick up the gold hairpin at the end of this one, so... let me just change up my stuff here. And these red dragons, you just kind of have to hope for good luck. That's really all you do. Oh, I'm going to get out of the yellow D. I'm going to get out of the yellow dragon. You can steal rods from these guys. Oh, you can high potion, but you can steal, or not rods, I'm sorry, rings from these guys. You can steal rings from these guys. You can steal fire rings. Is there another translation for epee? Oh, because epee is sword for... well, I guess I think of an epee as like a, I think of an epee as like a fencing sword, is what I think of an epee. I think of it as a fencing sword. I guess I'd like to get one fire ring if I can. Because for the Crystal Guardians, if I can manage a way to... let me think this through. Because I can pick up the Flame Shields to fight the Crystal Guardians. I can pick up the Flame Shield to fight those guys. And then you have to forego the Aegis Shield. But if I can pick up a flame ring from these dragons, and you can kind of grind a flame ring out if you have multiple thief characters, you can kind of grind out a flame ring. It's a rare steal. Just by kind of sitting there and doing steal, escape, steal, escape, steal, escape, steal, escape forever. But I don't have that ability to just grind one out and kind of leave it run on autopilot. And I think that might be a little much to try to get another long shot one on those red dragons. So maybe I won't. Maybe I won't go to try to steal a flame ring. Because the thing is, if I could get a flame ring, I wouldn't need to burn my Aegis shield into a flame shield to fight the Seal Guardians later on. But I don't necessarily think I'm going to need the Aegis shield to get through the rest of the game. I think the flame shield will do me okay. So I think maybe I will just get aggressive on this one. We'll see how it works out for me. It might totally bone me, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I just had that thought kind of in the middle of that battle. But if this was a non-classic run and I had one character with steal and one character with escape or flee, you can kind of get this kind of loop where you just kind of like steal, escape, and you keep re-rolling that battle and stealing every time. And you can build up all the flame rings you want, all the rare steals you want. You just hold down that A button and build up all the flame rings you want. But doing it this way would be a little bit too much. I don't want the yellow dragon fight. Yep. I want the red dragon. And I want it not to use atomic ray on me first. Oops, no, I meant steal. I guess escape is there. There's my chicken knife, one battle stronger. Alright, this is a good start to this battle. To have it use a physical attack and miss is a good start to this battle. Especially when you just have Ice 2, you don't have Ice 3 yet. These guys have 5,000 or 6,000 hit points, I think. What do we got? Alright, another high potion, yeah. It's another long shot to try to pick up a flame ring from these guys. It's another very long shot. More than I want to get into. Let's see if that does it. 600? Yeah, there we go. That was right about where I was thinking. Yeah, and 6 AP is nice. The Drain Sword is not so nice. I will likely never use that Drain Sword. I'll probably just sell that one. I will likely never use it. Yes, Knightum, there are other rings. There is a Coral Ring, which absorbs water and nullifies, I think, lightning. It absorbs water and nullifies lightning. It's only really used in a couple of battles. The Shinryu battle, you can use Coral Rings, and then maybe the Twintania battle, and the maybe Leviathan battle if you're a summoner getting Leviathan. It's not used very often, and then there is, I guess that's the only one that functions like the Flame Ring, because the other one is the Angel Ring, and that just that protects from some of the nastier statuses like Old and Zombie. But there isn't like an Ice Ring. Knightum. There isn't an Ice Ring. There's an Ice Shield that functions kind of like it, but the only other ring is the Coral Ring that functions like that. But the Flame Ring is kind of like it absorbs fire and nullifies ice. I mean, what more could you ask for? What more could you want? Because that's also another handy one to equip for the X-Death World 2 fight. With this one, I'm just going to have to get a lot of Phoenix Downs and just kind of hope. And just kind of be like chucking Phoenix Downs. Yeah, Coral, I think, Knightum, and this I'd have to look that up because I don't ever buy them and I don't really ever use them, Knightum, but I think Coral absorbs water and I think it nullifies lightning. But that's something that I could look up and check. Maybe during the Atmos fight I could look that up because I have the algorithms guide open. So once I get into the Atmos fight where I'm just spamming spells, I can look that up. I'm actually looking it up now. What's the first one? Coral Sword. Coral Ring. Okay. Yeah, it absorbs water. Okay, Coral Ring. Here is the definitive. So it absorbs water, it nullifies fire. It actually makes you weak to lightning, though. So I had that wrong. It makes you weak to lightning. Weak to lightning. But it nullifies fire. So there we go. So I guess it's all right in that way because fire is a little bit more often used, but still, like, water is a pretty obscure element in this game. Not a whole lot uses water damage. Okay, I've got another dragon fight coming up here. Definitely want this one because this is the gold hairpin, and this is going on Lena almost immediately or immediately. And here's hoping for a good roll. Let's see what we can steal. Let's see what we can do. Okay, that's actually not a bad first action. Still have the ice, yeah. Even though it hit, I'm still not sad that it went after the knight and got her. Atomic rays is the thing. I don't want a bunch of atomic rays in a row. And I can maybe survive one atomic ray. Okay, there's another physical attack, so this is going to be a W. This is going to be a win. And if I ever need a flame ring, I can always just try to grind these guys in X-Death's Castle later on in World 2. Oops, I should have been attacking there, not stealing. Oh, there's another physical attack, so there we go. Even if it had shot an atomic ray at me, I think my thief could have survived, and I could have still won the battle. But there's a gold hairpins going right on Lena. Oops, nope, not the cornet. Gold hairpin. Yeah, there we go. So you can check that up on yourself, the coral ring. But yeah, obviously it's not as useful as the flame ring, so it's not really one that I ever buy because it costs 50,000 in this game to buy one. You can steal them or get them from stuff, or there's a chest with some later, but like it's not something I ever really bother with. Most of the things that you don't really need to beat the game, I don't bother with. So for example, I haven't done the Phoenix Tower properly in a long time. I have not done that tower in a long time. Alright, let me get Venom Rods in my mages, because that's what we're going to be working on mostly here. I'm going to get this Elf Cape on you, just to get one more point of agility to get turns a little bit faster. You got full MP. So we're good there. Atmos is going to be no problem. I'll just put it to sleep. The only thing that can kind of limit you here is MP for your spellcasters. So I just need to hope that it's probably going to get a comet turn in before I have a chance to put it to sleep. And I just hope that it doesn't kill off both of my mages. That's really the only thing that can really give me any trouble with this battle, is if it kills off both mages. And if it does that, I'll probably re-roll. Rather than throw Phoenix Downs, I'll probably re-roll the battle. Alright, there's one mage dead. Alright. And I wish it had taken out my knight, but oh well. And there's sleep misses anyway, but sleep can hit it, and then once it's put to sleep, my physical fighters just have to kind of take a backseat. There we go. And I am not going to waste a Phoenix Down. I don't think it has anything to steal. Oh, maybe it has something. Probably a Dark Matter. I'm guessing it's a Dark Matter. That's my guess, is that it has a Dark Matter. Yeah, right. Atmos. Well, Atmos doesn't necessarily kill one character at a time. Atmos will do, if there's nobody dead, it will just do that either single comet or double comet, until it gets to an action where at least one person is dead. So it can actually kill two characters. There's an Ether Steel. It can kill two people in its routine. And these steals are going to do nothing, but this is just going to be me holding A. So, Knight will guard, Thief will attempt to steal nothing. I think I have 18,000 hit points to grind it down. So Atmos can kill both Black Mages if it really wants to. Yeah, because it's every action it gets is comet, comet, nothing, and comet, comet, nothing. I'll send you its, this is its routine. And that's a double, so he could have possibly targeted both mages with that. So he did either nothing and comet or comet and nothing that first action. So there was actually a small chance that he could have just done nothing at all. Just 1/3 and 1/3, I guess 1 out of 9 chance that he would do nothing at all. And I might just sell that ether. That ether will be worth enough for a rod later. I'll trade that ether for a thunder rod. Or just part of another Phoenix down, I guess. And what is his hit points? Is it 18,000? It is, okay, 19,997. Okay, so just shy of 20,000. Just shy of 20,000. And if I had both mages alive, I would have, you know, double mage action doing this, but I'm doing tightwad strats for this battle, so there we go. Yeah, 12 AP, so that's all that Galef misses out on is 12 AP. Yeah, it is sad some bosses only get 2 actions. Sometimes when you have your exploits, you can get them before they do anything. Looks like the rare steal from that is a flail. Wow, I'd rather take the ether. I'd rather take the ether than a flail. Flail's like that, like, early game weapon. Wow. All right, so for the rest of the stream, I'm going to just get myself up to the beginning of the Forest of Mua, and then I'm going to call the stream over because I have to do some grinding in that forest to get through to the crystals. But I'll still do Guido's Cave on stream. I gotta mash through this cutscene. I'll still do Guido's Cave. And I'll do my shopping and my setup. So I'll pick up the other Guardian Dagger and buy my 3rd level Black Magic spells, which I should be able to afford now with all the money I've gotten from these guys. Gosh, I'm glad that someone was here to see me pick up that double lance. Nightdim, I'm glad that you popped in and could see me pick that up. That is definitely a highlight. I might have to make that one a GIF and send that out to my Fiesta profile. But Nightdim, if you don't play the Fiesta, I would suggest you check it out. Obviously, you don't have to play if you don't want to, but I would suggest you give it a look because it is a really cool way to learn about this game. And if you are an experienced Ancient Cave player, I would say you probably would have no trouble getting through the game with almost any party configuration, because it's the same kind of skill set that you need to play the Ancient Cave, is to kind of deal with what's put in front of you with what you have, although there aren't any battles as tough as some of those in the Ancient Cave. Obviously, you don't have to fight Minotaur and Omni together. You can fight them separately. Or you don't ever have to face 3 chimeras in one battle. Oops, I'm doing this wrong. This is what happens on stream, is I kind of lose myself a little bit. You have to wait. This is a timed wait right here. So I have to wait till Galef says, there we go, Ziza, you show off. That's the trigger. Okay, well, hey, you know what, Nightdim? 55 in a regular crawl is nothing to sneeze at. 55 in a regular crawl is just fine. It is unfortunate that it can be knocked out by a tough battle there in 55, and I just got good luck in my run, so... but I am, in my guide, I'm not really doing a proper crawl. I am using saves and things in there that aren't really part of a proper run of that dungeon. But I wanted to show off some of the battles there. So, like, I beat the Liquid Flame Ironclaw battle that normally I would never fight that one, but I wanted to just show what that battle looked like and how that battle could be won. But I do that with save states and things. So there's a peek behind the curtain, I guess you could say. Oh, if you knew about the gill turtle. Yeah, the gill turtle. Yeah. And the gill turtle is in the regular game. Yeah, that is a reference to a cave here in World 2. That it's the layout of that floor is exactly like it is in World 2. So anyone who had played a lot of this game would recognize right away, like, oop, this is Gill Turtle's cave. And if I care to go down there, I can see if Gill Turtle is waiting for me, but Gill Turtle will do it. Gill Turtle will take you out, and it will not be pretty. Now my emulator last run gave me some problems in this area, so I'm hoping that it doesn't. I was experiencing some glitches in my emulation at this point. Oh, you fight Liquid Flame. Wow. Not for the ribbon, but for the AP. Well, that's certainly a valid reason to fight that thing. Yeah, you kind of rage quit the game before Gill Turtle, yeah. And I'm glad I don't have to deal with these Metamorpha guys. I can just escape, because those guys are just annoying. And I don't have anyone who can use the Light Staff, so I don't need to try to get a Light Staff to fight X-Death. I can just escape right on out. So this dungeon should go quickly. Oh, that's interesting. In the Ancient Cave, fighting that Liquid Flame fight. I guess it's early enough in the run that if you get torched, it's not too much of a time loss. And if you're good at that battle, maybe you can knock it out. Yeah, if you're good at that battle, maybe you can knock it out consistently. I wasn't able to really find a good way to do it consistently with the party configuration I had. I wasn't able to really find one, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. But, you know, if you get a bad first round and you get both Iron Claws, fire off Iron Claw. Yeah, if you're grinding for Call, yeah, Call would be a great ability to have for your summoner. Call in that version where a free MP summon spell. That'd be great. You just almost wish that you could forget your old summons, which kind of is the way it is in this game. You kind of wish you could forget the old summons. But when I play Fiesta runs, I almost never get my summoners up to learning Call. I almost never get that high, because if you have a summoner, you can fight the last battle at such low levels that you never really have to learn Call. Obviously, that's not really the case in the Ancient Cave, but in a Fiesta run, if you can have access to Golem and Carbuncle, you can deal with almost everything the last boss throws at you. Oh, okay, so you usually have some rods. I guess I didn't have any rods this time. I'm trying to think of what I did have access to, but I don't think I had any rods that I can remember anyway. While I'm grinding through this cutscene, mashing through. This is where we get the stick. And again, I don't have the Time Mage, so I can't use the warp ability. I wish the designers had been kind enough to put a warp tile in the bottom here, but they weren't, so we have to just deal. At least this music is pretty good, so we can just kind of jam on that for a while. But yeah, Knightdom, my Ancient Cave Guide series is going to kind of be on hold. The Fiesta takes precedence for me, so I'm just going to keep that old save, and then at the end of the summer, I'll jump back to it and try to do those last few floors. But yeah, sadly, I wasn't able to quite finish it. A couple things popped up for me at the beginning of the summer here. I was going to try to power through and finish that, or at least record the ending of that Ancient Cave run before the Fiesta started, but I had some travel and some family visits that were get in the way of Fiesta recording and Final Fantasy V playing, as I'm sure you know. But then there's always no shortage of ROM hacks that people are suggesting that I play. Everybody has their favorite hacks of these kinds of games. I get lots of suggestions for play various hacks of Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI. Some people point out great restoration hacks of FF2. I've always been kind of interested in FF2, maybe, someday. Nothing is forcing me to make videos. That's a really good way to put that. I really do like doing them, but yes, I do have a job in real life. I do have a job that does eat up a good chunk of time, obviously. So, but I do like making the videos. I know that making videos in a niche genre like this is not something that's going to lead to lots of people watching me, but I do feel like these works do deserve an audience, and they do deserve people playing them and enjoying them, and I think making videos of them is a good way for others to enjoy them if they don't have time to play them. Alright, so after this is going to be on to buying my last couple things, and then I'm going to be ending the stream when I get to the forest, because again, I'm not going to do my grinding on stream. I will do that with some fast forward, because this party, despite being kind of a limited or kind of narrow focused party, has gotten me through a lot of stuff with very little grinding. I needed a little bit of HP to beat Titan at the end of the World 1 here, and the Chimera at the end of World 1, but other than that, I didn't need a lot of grinding, but I will for these next couple of battles coming up. And the forest is about the best place you can do that here in World 2, in terms of safe battles that you can grind. And that's what I'm looking for, is a battle you can get a lot of experience and money and AP without a lot of danger of dying, and it's really easy to go back to town and heal up, so that's what we're going to be doing. Oh, no, that's the Shote continent. I went a little bit too far north there. I'm going for Mua. And Mua is around this bend here. This is a little Final Fantasy VII, I think, popping into this game. Or a little bit of this game popping into FF7 with the submarine sequence. Oh, when you get a better PC, you're going to be doing Lufia too. All right, well, then I'll tell you what, here. If you're going to be popping up a stream, I'll say have a follow. I will pick you up and I will and I'll add you there, so that if when you're popping up your Lufia 2 streams, you can have that follow, and I will pop in, because I did play Lufia just casually once, and I really enjoyed it. I've actually yet to do the Lufia Ancient Cave, but I really do like the, just the music and everything in Lufia. Nope, don't need you. This is Time Magic, I think, yep. Hey, FF Master Fubar, hello, hello, hello. I'm actually just about to finish up here, because I'm going to go into a grinding sequence in the forest once I get the last couple things that I need. I'm going to pick up, I think, just one air knife. I don't even know if I will specifically use this one. Yeah, Lufia 2's music is great. I love to listen to that soundtrack when I'm doing work. It is just such a great piece to listen to. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm sorry, FF Master Fubar, that I'm finishing up just as you're popping in. But that's just the way it is. All right, here we go. You are followed when you get that stuff going. All right, I got that set. All right, there we go. So yeah, I'm going to go out of town here and save, and then I'm going to be going into doing grinding later on. But I will try to stream a little bit more this week, so feel free to pop back. I try to always stream my my final dungeon crawls, so my Cleft of Dimension all the way to the end. I try to do those usually in about 2 or 3 hour streams. So whenever I get to that point, I'll definitely be streaming, but if I can do a little bit between now and then, I will try to pop on just a little bit more. But thank you guys for popping in. Glad you could chat and say hello. And I hope you guys have fun with your own fiestas, if that's what you're doing here this summer. We'll see you guys later.